The Escalade is as subtle as a foghorn, and like a foghorn, it serves a purpose.
There's a basic formula with Escalade, which is luxury for up to 8 people, power and capability. You can tow 8,000 pounds, for goodness sakes. And then I think there's that bold design that sets it apart.
David Caldwell is the manager of Cadillac Communications.
It is a great vehicle for affluent families that really need 3 rows of luxury.
The 2015 Cadillac has a grille that's large enough to look at home on the 706 to Greenwich. And there's almost as much room in the Escalade as there is on that train. The regular wheelbase has 120.8 cubic feet of interior volume. And the ESV, which is the longer wheelbase, has 122.4 cubic feet of interior space. That doesn't sound like much of a difference, but it's huge when it comes to legroom in the third row and the cargo area behind the third row. The cargo room behind the third row on the regular wheelbase is 15.2 cubic feet. In the ESV, it's 39.3 cubic feet.
You know, we often find that affluent families, they go places and do things, right? They might be skiing. It might be that they have a summer home where they need to decamp lots of stuff and people to take there. They might have dogs very often, or maybe it's tailgating at an NFL stadium and they take a lot of stuff with them. Whatever, there's a whole variety of pursuits. Horse trailers, boats, these are all the kinds of things that, so it's really not so much about who they are, it's about what they do.
If you have apartment-sized friends or children, they might be okay with the 24.8 inches of legroom in the third row of the Cadillac. The legroom for the third row expands to 34.5 inches in the third row if you go for the ESV. Now, if you're smart enough to earn enough money to be able to afford one of these, you probably know that you should measure your garage to make sure it fits, especially if you're opting for the long wheelbase version. On the same subject, I always think it's important for people to test park during their test drive. If you don't like the way a vehicle parks, you're going to hate the car. This is especially important if you have drivers of vastly different heights. Although the 3-row SUV has 4-wheel drive, it's not the type of vehicle that most owners will take off-road on purpose.
With 4-wheel drive, and lots of power and a really well-developed chassis, Escalades have always been very capable, whether it be towing and hauling loads, wet weather traction in the wintertime. You know, it's a great vehicle for people that take ski vacations and those kind of things. So I think there's very serious capability always wrapped up in Escalade. It's not necessarily rock crawling kind of stuff.
The power plant on the 2015 Escalade we tested was a 6.2-liter V8 that generates 420 horsepower. It's coupled to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This beast, however, is not a burden on the on-ramp. Edmunds.com reports a 0 to 60 time of 6.4 seconds. I had no problems getting out of the way of those who pass on the right, doze on the left, and generally consider the New Jersey Turnpike a place to express their free-form style of driving. During my week of driving the Escalade, I opted for a particular parking garage in New York that does not charge extra for oversized vehicles. Some garages in Manhattan basically double the tab if you drive anything big enough to be called full-sized. Blessed are the engineers at General Motors who installed a 26-gallon fuel tank in the regular Escalade and a 31-gallon tank in the ESV. With an EPA estimate of 14 miles per gallon in the city and 21 on the highway, I was happy about the bigger tank. The interior on the Escalade is a grade above some of those other very large luxury SUVs. My only complaint is that I found the driver's seat a little too stiff, but maybe your experience will be different.
It's an all-new design, and I think it's really about the inside this time. Hand-cut and sewn instrument panel and trim all throughout the cockpit. Much higher level of technology when it comes to connectivity, navigation, entertainment systems. Really nice palette of colors. Much higher levels of materials using authentic woods and leathers. Kind of a blend of old world craftsmanship with new technology.
The base price for the 2015 Cadillac Escalade is $82,785. Options on our test car included $2,000 for Kona brown leather seats, $1,695 for power running boards, and $500 for the 22-inch bright finish aluminum wheels. The total price as tested for the 2015 Cadillac Escalade 4-wheel drive premium was $87,985. I'm Grant Winter reporting for Real World Test Drive.